Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mad LiberTEA Party, where up is down, left is right, and the rules don't matter because we're all mad here. I'm being a little bit more chill tonight. Probably won't be yelling curse words or anything like that because I'm not at the house. Um, but we're glad to have you guys with us, and our guests are kind of running late. We'll find out what's going on with that as we go. Maybe something happened. I have no idea. I hope everybody's okay out there. Are you guys having a good day? What about you, man? How are you doing today, I3?
Government bad. That's all I gotta say.
Government bad, yes. So like I have a list of stuff we're gonna go over tonight. And really, I think the two major topics that we really want to hit on is what happened on January 6th and what's going to happen on January 17th.
And what's going to happen on January 20th, because I just got an email saying there's gonna be protests in every state on January 20th.
Yeah, some people were asking me why we were doing our thing. We'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that, yeah.
We'll get to that. Hi, everybody who's coming in. I'm glad to see you guys. Oh, we got one of our guests here. Oh, okay. It's Lizard. Let me add him.
Yay.
Hey, Lizard. Welcome,
the Jesus
welcome
man.
to the team.
The Jesus man.
We got Lizard with us, y'all, tonight, and that's a special treat. He has been trying his hand at audits on the channel a little bit, so you may have already seen him before. Oh, wait, there's somebody else. We got, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, finally, we get our ANCOM here.
Hey, you're even in the, oh, God.
Hey, this is the same thing that happened last time.
And you're even over in the right corner for yourself. I'm in the wrong corner. I'm where the communists are supposed to be.
Okay.
Hold up. Okay.
I'm talking about the political compass. If anybody doesn't know, they have the auth right, auth left, and
yeah,
anarcho or left and anarcho right. I'm in way the wrong spot, and so's I3. Although, to be fair, none of us should be up there in the top corners anyways.
I think my bottom corner is freedom, and everybody else has a hammer and sickle. That's where I'm at right now.
Gracious. Oh, wait, hold on.
I don't even know what the hell
Here we go.
I know I like money.
I'm just for smashing.
We got everybody, I think.
I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I'm just like, as long as you're smashing fascists, I don't give a shit.
Yes. They're coming in. Here we go. We got everybody in here now. Welcome to the show, country boy.
Country
boy.
I'm
sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was tomorrow. I kind of had a scheduling conflict. I was actually trying to work out some plans. Yeah, I was trying to work out some plans.
Sorry about that.
17th. And so.
Speaking of which, like, everybody, he's coming to join us for the evening, but he's also going to be helping us clear up some stuff about the 17th tonight, so that's exciting.
Yeah. Good.
And I think Creep has some stuff he wants to talk about too. It's going to be good. We are going to try and keep it high and tight tonight, because I am not at home right now and I cannot smoke while I am on the show. And so
you cannot cuss or smoke.
Yeah, I'm trying not to curse or smoke too much, or well, curse too much or smoke at all. So here we go.
I'm like doing my day fast from nicotine, and I'm just like, I'm saying it's a horrible decision.
Oh jeez. Oh.
I get nicotine I get like some kind of like little bit of fucking something to smoke once every 2 days, and then the next day I just kind of stop for a second, and this is my stop day, just so I don't get like too addicted and start buying packs again. And I just need something to smoke in between shit every once in a while when I get bored, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's get the show on the road and start off with what happened on the 6th. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows what happened on the 6th in DC with the I don't even know what to call that. Like, I guess that was a riot.
No, it's not a riot.
What are they?
It's not a riot, Mike.
What is it called then?
A 4chan party.
A 4chan party. It was a 4chan party.
It's a slash poll
That
party.
makes it sound worse, man.
Slash poll party, or our Donald Trump just decided to bum rush the steps of the Capitol Hill.
Or Donald Trump. I mean, the memes are intense, but to be honest, this stuff was not. I mean, like, the memes are great and funny, but the stuff that happened, really, I didn't.
It was pretty.
I
bad.
didn't find it very funny. It was pretty fucking bad. I mean, as far as we can tell, like, the good news is there are going to be memes about this for years to come.
And we're gonna have another meme war then.
I've had this message stuck on the bottom of our screen this whole time. I'm so sorry. We're disheveled tonight. I personally, like, I thought that there were some. On one hand, I want to say it's good to see people pushing back, but that's about all I can say, because I believe it was very misguided, and obviously I don't agree with their motives. And
yeah,
you know, I'm always like F the government and all that stuff, but it was ill. Even I don't know. It was just it was pretty bad, and people died. You never want anyone to die. But honestly, I don't think that they should have shot that lady. I just want to. How about we go around and give our opinions on what the heck happened there? Like, maybe some of the good and the bad. What you guys think about it? You want to start, I3?
Say her name.
Yeah, I agree.
Hashtag say her name. And there's a t-shirt somewhere.
Ashley Babbitt.
And Ashley Babbitt. And let's just say that right there encourages me a little bit to know that at least the right is picking up on police brutality. Hopefully they can get the message that, yeah, the left has been harping on this the last year, and now you know why.
Well,
so, yes, government
the
bad.
tides have turned a little bit.
I am under the impression right now that we should have a national divorce right now. Let's
a national divorce.
National divorce, yes. All 50 states should go their own way. We should only come together in terms of national defense and trade. That is it. Every state should be blocked off in terms of their own private property and left alone to do their own thing. We have our Constitution. We go by that, and that is it. In fact, let me even go further. We should go for the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. After that, each state is free to go with what amendment they want to go with. I am at the point right now that anybody who votes for any politician anymore after January 6th is a violent person. You are encouraging violence. Voting is violence. That is my only takeaway at this point. Voting is violence.
Yeah.
Look what happened. A few people died because a lot of people voted for these people in Congress. Ignore Congress. Ignore the executive, judicial, and legislative branches. They are not working. We need to get a national divorce. I'm a little hot, Mike. I'm a little hot.
A national divorce. We should make a t-shirt about that. I want a national divorce.
I want a national divorce right now.
Somebody make a note of that and give it to me later. I'm going to make that a t-shirt. I've also got to make that other t-shirt, but I don't want to talk about it right now because someone might misunderstand it and think it was not funny.
Hashtag say her name and hashtag national divorce. Get that trending.
Yeah, definitely. I've been honestly, I don't know why we wouldn't be saying her name at this point. The Secret Service like shot a woman, you know. As far as I understand, she wasn't armed.
Nope, she was an unarmed U.S. veteran, and she was a mother, and now she's dead.
And now she's dead because they got scared and shot.
And who do I root for now? For those conservatives and progressives, the leftists and the rightists, who do I root for?
No one.
who do I vote for? You want me to be on your side? Get rid of the federal government now. I don't want to pay taxes. I'm going to have to right now because I got no other choice to support myself. I'm paying taxes to a violent government.
Well, yeah,
Voting
those
is
taxes
behind.
go directly to freaking paying for all the violence that they
Exactly.
cause.
So yeah, I am. I'm at the point where even anarcho-capitalism is not good enough.
Oh no, are you black flagging? Are you
I'm
black flagging with me?
I'm about to, Mike.
Hoist those,
Hey,
hoist
you go,
hoist
baby.
that
Abolish
black
that fucking
flag,
hierarchy right
unity.
fucking now. Abolish that fucking hierarchy right fucking now. I'm done.
All hierarchy. Just get rid of it. It's bad. All right, so, well, we changed order, but I can't remember who was next. Lizard, Lizard, are you there? Do you want to give your opinion on everything that happened?
Yeah, I'm here. It's fucking awful what happened. I'm pissed off about it. Like, I've seen certain leads and where people are saying that the police actually let the people into the gates, and that on top of somebody being shot by the police or Secret Service authority, whatever. It's like they asked for it. They literally sent those people in there to die. That's what I see when I see that type of shit.
Yeah.
I also see a lot of people, and I've said this a lot, I feel like a lot of people are on the brink of being anti-state. Like they are right there, and they just need a little bit of persuasion that we don't need a new system.
No, we just need each other.
Exactly. We just need our neighbors.
All you need is love. Bum,
the
ba-da-da-da.
Beatles kind of broke up, Mike. Sorry to tell you that.
Hey, shush. I'm still living back when they were all together and Yoko Ono was nothing. She had never come into the scene.
Yeah, she kind of
That's
destroyed
what
the
we
Beatles.
That's what the American government is. It's Yoko Ono.
It's Yoko Ono. That's an interesting way to look at it, but I appreciate that, Mike.
But I absolutely agree with the idea of a national divorce. I think that everybody should take that personal oath in order to maintain their own freedoms and rights, because they're just, man, they're running out, and there's hardly any left. Anybody who's a statist at this point, they're hurting themselves and they don't know it. And that's another thing. Like, people don't know how to fight, and so, like, stupid shit like this happens. You know, people just don't know what they're doing. But I mean, it's understandable because what do you do in a system like this?
Well, yeah, people are so frustrated. They're becoming easily led too, which is dangerous to them as well.
Yeah, it's painful to see on my end, anyways. I hate seeing that type of thing happen. The worst part about it is that from what I've seen, all status shit aside, they were just asking for an investigation.
Oh yeah.
And people got fucking hurt over that because they refused to do it.
Well, what do you think, Creep? We're gonna get the lefties' view now.
Where do I even fucking start? Jesus fucking Christ, man. I won't say I was surprised. We all fucking knew this was coming.
We did know.
Unless you fucking lived under a rock. So,
I remember you ranting at me about why is everybody so surprised this happened?
I don't know why everybody was surprised, first of all. Second of all, the MAGA movement has basically shown its fucking true colors. They don't respect the democratic process at all. Pretty much the only goddamn thing, hold on, let me finish here. Pretty much the only goddamn thing that made people believe in this system, they don't even respect that. And then they fucking, after they do this at the Capitol, they got the nerve to come to my fucking city, San Diego, and fucking fuck with homeless people and start trying to start shit and start fucking fights And also in LA, they grabbed the fucking black woman and nearly beat her to death. She thought she was going to fucking die. And, you know, and Donald Trump, fuck you, Donald Trump. You couldn't even stand with your people after they seized the fucking Capitol for you. You sold them out after.
I was waiting
like,
for someone to say that.
Cunt. If you still believe in Donald Trump after he sold you out like that, you are the biggest fucking cuck on the goddamn planet. Like, just burn your fucking MAGA hats already. Stop standing behind this guy. He's a selfish little fucking prick. Like,
burn your MAGA hats like you burned your blue line flags.
Yeah, like burn that shit. Like, and like you know those fucking like not all the maggots have abandoned the cops. Like, you know why? You know what the fucking am I getting reverb back?
Who's echoing?
Yeah, somebody's echoing on me.
Is it? It might be you. Yeah, it's you. No, I don't know who it is. I think it's Country Boy. Sorry, Country Boy. Would you mind muting while we're...
Yeah, let me see if I can find my headphones. My bad. I'm sorry.
No problem, dude.
Yeah. So basically, and you know, it's not all the fucking MAGA people who have abandoned the cops. In fact, you know how those, you know why we didn't fuck up those goddamn Nazi fuckers more? Because they hid behind the police and they got to fucking march around with police escort and fuck with homeless people after the cops after the cops pushed us back and we had to fucking leave or else they were going to start bringing out the fucking heavy guns on us. Like, so fucking we definitely fucking made them bleed and we fucked them up and we made them scared for their lives. Damian Russell's shaking in his fucking boots now and I'm but I hope we put the fear of God in that little shit. But here's the thing is, they need to fucking, if you want to stand for actual fucking liberty, or if you're a fucking patriot or whatever the fuck, you need to burn that goddamn MAGA hat because Donald Trump does not fucking represent you. And honestly, you're basically making yourself look like a fucking enemy. Like, I'm going to assume you're an enemy if you're wearing that fucking hat around me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want it to be that way, but at this point, that's how far it's gotten.
Well, there are people that have taken violence with that hat and they're walking around the street hurting people. Like, you have to be aware that there are people out there wearing that hat, making Nazi symbol, like Nazi salutes, and oh, that's gonna get clipped. Yeah. And making the Nazi salutes and hurting people and starting fights. And I know that there are people out there who say that they're MAGA that are not okay with that kind of behavior. You guys need to do something. You need to burn your hats. You need to get a different fucking symbol. Yeah. There's a flag. There's a flag out there with Babbitt on it, and it's red, white, and blue and stuff. Use that one. You know, and the thing about acting, you know, there's the ones that like don't even want to believe the MAGAs did that. They want to blame it on fucking Antifa. They're literally saying Ashley Babbitt was an Antifa agent. Oh
or whatever.
My god!
It's
like,
so sad. Like imagine dying for a cause and having
everybody shit on you for it.
Yeah, to leave that cause shit on you and throw you under the bus, and the person and the people that were with you in that cause throw you under the bus. The guy with the horns too. Like they are saying he's Antifa too.
The Shaman Q guy. Yeah, he's definitely real. He's definitely real. Like, we actually have somebody that we know somebody who knows who they are. It's not a friend of theirs, but like, I mean, I don't know if they're friendly or not, but like, they know the dude and they know that he's very real. He's not an Antifa.
Yeah, no, like I know there was no Antifa involvement in this bullshit. That was their own dumb shit, and I knew after Joe Biden got elected, the MAGA crowd was going to explode and do something stupid, and the country was going to turn on them. Like that's exactly what I knew was going to happen, and lo and fucking behold, Joe Biden.
To be fair, Biden is still going to screw us all.
Oh no! Look, and Antifa right now, fucking Joe Biden is not our And like, look, Joe Biden, you're next on the fucking block, motherfucker. Like, it's fucking scorched earth, nothing less with these fucking fascists.
Joe Biden is not going to be president. It's going to be Kamala Harris, Creep. You should know that by now.
Fuck her too. Fuck her too. Yeah, it's more fucking colored war criminals. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Exactly.
They're like, fucking, who cares? Like, they're all fucking, that like, anybody who actually has any power up there is like corrupt as hell. Like, there's still like maybe a few politicians up there I kind of believe in, and I think I actually like have good intentions, even if I disagree with their routes. But like, it's just like, it's not, that's not enough for me to like put my fucking life on the line for this system. I'm putting my life on the line for the fucking community. I put my life on the line on Saturday in PB because I knew those guys were fucking violent thugs. And we fucking, so that's why, so, you know, they're trying to say, oh, Antifa hit first or whatever. I'm like, yeah, because they were fucking Nazis. Like, you see them clearly giving Nazi salutes, and nobody in that
we do have a video to back that up too.
Yeah. But
he's not just talking out his butt.
Yeah, and that's like just the tip of the iceberg. There was a guy who made a post, and he's like, yeah, dude, I wasn't even part of any protest, and the MAGA crowd was marching around, and they fucking I was with my girlfriend who you know has a darker skin than me, and they started fucking yelling at me, doing racial slurs and stuff, and like I was in a cast, and they were trying to like start a fucking fight with me because like I had a motorcycle accident like earlier, so like I was in a fucking cast. Like, these fucking people are pieces of shit.
Yeah, and to be frank, if you don't approve of that kind of behavior, you should not be grouping yourself with them. Please, please do something.
Yeah, if you're going to be standing next to those guys and chanting with them like they're your fucking allies or comrades, and you're like, and you're coming to the thing, and it's like, it doesn't matter if you didn't hit first, or like you're just being like, I'm just asking questions, man. Like, no, it's like, bro, you're standing next to a guy that's like fucking trying to stab somebody because they're black or whatever. Like, you're fucking the enemy. I'm gonna treat you as such, man. Like, you gotta.
Well, I mean, like, out there these days, people are just jumping each other. How can you even tell? Like, do you want people to wait until they stab each other? And it really sucks that we've come to this. Like, they've got us so polarized and so divided that people are literally out in the streets attacking each other.
But yeah, so basically,
I have something to say. So,
well, you're next, cowboy, country boy. So how about you give your full opinion here?
Yeah, you go for it. I think I got mine in.
Oh my God! Can you guys hear me okay with these headphones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I got
mine.
Okay. I don't even know where to begin. So, I mean, I was one of them bastards that voted for Trump back in 2016, and that was where I was still a neocon. Yeah, I know. I believed in the system. I believed not having a politician, if you will, was going to be what would save this country. And boy, I couldn't have been any further from wrong. I mean, I think I'm the prime example of one of those people that just kind of like fell from grace out of their trust, you know, of just kind of like really believing that, you know, Trump was going to be our man, you know, and yeah, he really wasn't. I mean, there were a lot of things where it was just kind of like all these people, the Trumpers especially, would just talk about like how, well, he came into office and he fulfilled his promises and everything else like that. And it's like, he didn't do anything. Like, let's sit back and objectively look at everything that he's really done. He's done nothing but piss people off and be a politician. I mean, it's like he was textbook everything politician. Back in October, I went to Harrisburg to go and do an interview, and I was there with Axios, and there happened to be a MAGA rally that was going on that day. And holy shit, you want to talk about, you know, the biggest cult-like following. I mean, this QAnon shit, this MAGA shit. I mean, these people are insane. I mean, and the thing is too, there were people too, you know, because I showed up armed and I was carrying the Pennsylvania Boog flag, and you know, some Trumpers came up and were like, hey, you know, what is that flag? What does it mean? And whenever I started finally telling them like what it is, I mean, their attitude and demeanor changed toward me 100%. And what bothers me is it's just like, you have all these people there and they want to claim that they love America and everything else like that, but everything, everybody froze.
You're still with us.
Oh yeah, we can still hear you. It happens.
Okay.
Here.
It happens on occasion.
All right. No, I just didn't know if I dropped out or not, like last time. But I mean, it's just insane to me just to see these people's attitude and how they treat this guy, almost like he's like a god, you know. And that was the biggest thing that I got out of that whole rally, was just the mentality and the mindset that these people had. You know, for me, I'm a veteran of the United States, you know, and if I were to continue to have stayed with the Constitution, for example, the 6th, that was a blatant overthrow of the Constitution that these people swear to live and breathe and die by. And that was just, that everything that happened on the 6th is just despicable. I mean, with Ashley Babbitt getting killed, that's bullshit. That really is, you know, and that can go back to any other scenario where we've had, like in the Libertarian Party, Boogaloo, whatever you want to call it, where we've had this discussion of like, oh, well, if so-and-so wasn't there, this wouldn't have happened. Well, this is exactly where it actually should circle back to. That's not what this is about. This is actually where if so-and-so was armed, or if so-and-so had, you know, the government didn't treat so-and-so such as this, then, you know, none of this would have happened then. You know, that's what the mentality should be. That's what the idea should be, is that it's not, no, so-and-so shouldn't have been there. It's that, no, the government shouldn't have escalated things to this point or this time, or to even just look at it from an outside perspective.
That's along the lines of saying, well, she shouldn't have been wearing a short skirt.
Yeah,
exactly. Yes, 100%.
I just feel bad for the woman, because she was just so manipulated into just doing this. Like, people just how the fucking media just.
I keep telling you guys that Prussian schooling model that they've had us all being, you know, like conditioned under, it's horrible.
Well, yeah, but this is a different situation. Like, I mean,
no, it's not. They're taking advantage of that mindset. They're taking advantage of that mindset. The inability for people to like go out and find things and think. They take what they're handed, and they will grab onto whatever makes them feel best, basically.
I guess I see where you're coming from on that sense. I mean, it makes them
vulnerable.
I mean, I'm just mostly I'm just trying to highlight here. It's just like they just feed people this shit and get them all hyped up on fucking conspiracy theories and shit, and dude, people who cock up these fucking conspiracy theories, they're not looking out for your best interest. They're trying to make money. No. Alex Jones and all those fucking people, they're in it for the money.
Dude, even Alex Jones told Q that he didn't have time for them. Like, he told them off on air.
That's funny. The conspiracy theories are fucking. But yeah, they're all. But like, honestly, whatever it is, like they're literally just like Alex Jones, people who are spreading QAnon. All of them are the same in the sense that they're just trying to fucking make money off paranoia and fear and anxiety, and they just sell these they just sell these like conspiracy theories that you can't entirely disprove, because you know nobody can know for sure, and they get people to fucking buy into it and buy their shit, and then they don't care what the fuck they do with their lives after that. They go storm the fucking Capitol, get killed. Well, at least I sold them my stupid supplements.
Oh, Jesus. Did you have anything else to add on there, country boy?
Why do you keep calling him cowboy and country boy?
I keep mixing back and forth between cowboy and country boy. I'm having a hard time tonight. I'm in a weird place.
Just call him.
It's a hoedown. No, it's a hoedown. Hoedown.
Your name is classified now. I'm just gonna call you boy. Boy. Boy, do you have anything else to say?
Hey, you works just as well.
Hey, you. That's a Pink Floyd reference. I like that.
So, but yeah, no, I think the whole thing is, you know, people have to stand up and wake up. And one thing I will step back and say is that absolutely, however you want to look at it, there's two ways to look at what happened on January 6th. you have where that is, I would call it like the Great Awakening. People just kind of like being disenfranchised by the system. They no longer have a belief in it, and they felt strongly enough to go and enforce it. And, you know, and I kind of think that makes them more vulnerable to being red pilled, if you will. You know, so I don't think some of these like MAGA idiots need to be written off 100%. But at the same time, I think that there needs to be a conversation that needs to be opened up, and the bullshit, like what Creep was talking about, you know, with them being racist and everything, that shit's got to stop. I mean, plain and simple. That's you breathe and live and die by the Constitution. That's absolutely anti-fucking constitutional. So you need to fucking let that shit go and treat everybody as your fellow human being. The other aspect that you can think of with January 6th is you guys screwed the fucking pooch. I mean, on any of all fucking subject matter material to storm the Capitol building on, that's what you fucking chose it on, not that $600 breadcrumb stimulus check.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me. You know, not the bump stock ban, not the SBR ban, everything else like that. You chose fucking Orange Man to go and storm the Capitol building on. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know, you guys really fucked that one up, because, you know, there were more valid and understandable reasons to go and do that for, and you guys chose that. So, no, I mean, in reality, January 6th was a complete fucking shit show, and has honestly set up January 17th to be a complete anti-message from what we're actually hoping to do on the 17th. And so now we're experiencing where the mainstream media is coming out and, you know, conspiracy theorying that the 17th is going to be a repeat of the 6th, but only this time, because a lot of us are going to be armed, that there's going to be armed conflict. And that's horseshit, because that's really taking away everything that we were trying to set up for the 17th
for months.
Entirely. So.
Yeah, for months and months.
We have worked our fucking ass off to try and, we worked our ass off to try and spread a positive message, and this is what we get, you know?
And honestly, that something I totally forgot. And I'm so sorry, I kind of forgot. Like, this is going to come back on the Black and Brown community. They're going to, because the thing is, now that they know that the Capitol can be overtaken by a mob like that, they're going to start beefing up security and everything else, and just like, and getting more crazy on like terrorists and stuff, on quote unquote terrorists, and then they're going to use it as an excuse to persecute leftists, BLM protesters, or whatever. They will turn this around and somehow try to blame the left, or make a policy that victimizes people of color more than the fucking white people who actually do this kind of shit.
Yeah, because if you think Biden and Kamala are gonna make this different, like, there are people out there going, "Oh, it's gonna be fine as soon as Trump's gone." No, it's not. This is too put deeply into people. It's not gonna just fade away. It's like those people who thought, well, 2020 is over, it's going to get better now. Like, what? It's just not. And I wish it would, but it won't.
Yeah, it's just, they're going to turn it around on the Black and Brown community and fuck with us over it. They're going to somehow find a way to just do that. They always kind of use incidents like this. Never let a good crisis go to waste. They always use incidents like this to fuck with minorities in some way, or somehow with some fucking racist policy they fucking make up, because the fucking whole system is built off fucking colonialism and racism. So it's just, it sucks. It fucking sucks.
Well, let's not forget Joe Biden's already, and Kamala Harris have both proven that everything that they were building and grooming the Black Lives Matter organization up for, and everything, with all of the unrest, the riots, the protests, the defund the police, everything, they came out once the president-elect status was made. They told BLM that they had no time for them. NCAA, no time. You know, it's like that meme where you see, you know, the SUV driving down the road and you see somebody getting kicked out of the side of the car. That's exactly what happened, is that BLM was used for political gain, and then their name has been tarnished along the way. So And this is, and not in defense of MAGA or QAnon or any of them idiots out there, but this is where it was perfectly groomed for that. Was it was made to intentionally divide and create division among, you got your MAGA Trump tards, and then you got your BLM and left wing and Antifa and everybody supporting of black rights and everything like that. It was intentionally created to create a divide there. And now that they did, BLM is now on their own. They're in their own category now, and they got to try and fight to make a good name for themselves. And that's bullshit.
Yeah, it does suck. I mean, this is kind of a lot of people. I mean, and a lot of like BLM minded people are like, kind of like, you know, there's like Twitter drama and clashes. Nothing like violent, but like they were clashing on ideals, and it's just like, well, should it be more about black liberation or just like, or like smash the state or whatever? And it's just kind of at this point, it should really be. I mean, I'm kind of on the side of just, well, you know what? I can't really say for sure. Like, I definitely know that we need to achieve black liberation before anything else. But at the same time, the end goal is smash the state, and they should be standing in solidarity.
Get everybody liberated.
Like, if you're a BLM activist and you're not standing in solidarity with Antifa, I'm sorry, like, you are definitely part of the problem. I will say that without a doubt. Like, we're trying to help you, man. Like, you gotta, and it's not just white people in Antifa. In fact, most of the fucking people who came to the thing in PB, I would say half of them or more than half of them were from LA, and like almost nobody in the LA Antifa crew was white. Like, it was all people of color, and they went harder than any of us. Like, they went for it. Like, I was like, when I saw them, what they were doing, I was just like, well, okay, damn. Like, LA don't fuck around.
I think that every one of you guys touched on something that I was gonna say about this, except for like a couple of things. Like, I want you guys, I mean, like, I don't think that people understand how messed up the reporting is. Like, there's so many weird things going on that we don't have answers for that happened in DC too. Like, why did the police let them in? Why did they shoot her while there were other police around and not stopping her? Why did they just, like, why did they allow all of this stuff to happen? Because, to be honest, they did. They flat out opened the dang doors and let them in, and then used it for their fodder. And it has the right and the left media sources attacking anyone who is anti-government. And the truth is, MAGA people aren't anti-government.
Yeah. Well, the cops are trying to.
And like, the other thing is that, like, I mean, to be clear, I think all of this was a psyop. I believe that they set up the dominoes, knocked the dominoes over, and are now using them exactly in the way that we are seeing them use them. And, the only thing I have to say that's good is that, like, the local people in everybody's areas, if you've been out talking to them, if you've been educating them about what's going on and stuff like that, now that they're seeing them say stuff about you and about anti-government people, it's causing cognitive dissonance, because they're understanding that this is not true, but that's what they're saying. It's insane. But it is, I mean, like, maybe that's the only good thing that we can get out of it, is that right now people are waking up on the right, on the left, in the middle, all over the place, and realizing that things are not right. And they're looking for answers. And honestly, I think that, like I said, we're basically, those are people who are not fooled by the whole existence of, or need for an existence of, a government. We don't look at this the same way as everybody else is looking at this. You guys don't have a chance. You didn't have a chance. Like, you didn't have a chance. They manipulated you. They used you on both sides, Democrats and Republicans. They don't care about us. They use us as pawns. They use us as ways to get more. Like, they spent this whole year saying they were going to tear down the police state and shit like that. And now here at the end, they're going to be doing stuff to build it back up after they made that false hand. Just like they said, like, they're taking advantage of BLM and all that stuff, and now they don't have time for you. And it's almost like they had to use your statists to make us look bad, the anti-government crowd, because they couldn't use us. They couldn't fool us. They couldn't manipulate us into doing what they wanted us to do. So they used you instead.
Next topic.
Yeah.
We got to move along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was definitely a big psyop, and quite honestly, I think it was a bipartisan psyop as well. I think it was a left and right psyop. I think personally what it was is I think it was a something that was organized so that way they could push more either crime bills, gun bills, everything. Because I mean, if you look at the scope of everything they're talking about with the 17th now, the main focus is now guns. And that's exactly what I think they're aiming to do, is they are wanting to make sure that they have the public, or I should say the general public opinion on their side. So that way when they go and they reconvene once the inauguration happens and everything, they can start pushing massive crime bills, and they're going to cite things like the 6th, and they're hoping to use like the 17th and things like that. I mean, they took advantage of people. They really did. I mean, the whole thing with the voting being rigged and everything. I mean, let's face it, the voting has always been rigged,
but it's always
never been fair. You know, so it's nothing new, and they took advantage of all of the how the MAGA people felt about it, and I think it was both the left and the right that created the psyop and basically pushed for the invasion of the Capitol.
That makes me think of something I wanted to add before we move on to another topic too, is you know, like Creep was talking about how the MAGA people don't care about democracy. Neither do the Democrats. The Democrats and the Republicans, they don't care about democracy. The only time they care about the fraud and all of that stuff is when they lose. You know, if you decide you're going to play a game, you know that you might lose that game. And typically you're okay with that because that's just how it works. It's called good sportsmanship. If you choose to play a game and then throw a goddamn fit when you lose, you're a child. There's nothing else to say about it. Now, if you know that the game is full of cheaters, but you only say something, you know, you don't say anything when you win, you only say something when you lose, you're a piece of crap. Like, you're a villain. You're taking advantage of it, and you don't actually believe in it. You're literally only believing in your power to win, and that's it. And that's all you care about. That's not what democracy is. One, we're not living in a democracy. This is a fucking republic. Two, you don't believe in democracy. You just pretend to. I don't even think most of you know what a democracy is at this, or what democracy is at this point. You're just yelling it because people say it in their slogans, and it doesn't even make sense anymore. But I cannot state enough that January 6th is basically the opposite of what we're aiming for J17. Like, holy crap, it's anti-government. I mean, it's, you know, like, well, it's not anti-government, but it's pro-liberty, it's pro-liberty, anti-government, pro-community. It's supposed to be peaceful. But I'm not gonna put any words of, like, Country, would you like to explain what this is and what it is not?
Yeah.
And then we'll ask you some questions.
Okay. So, January 17th. So, I mean, to kind of go along with it, with everything, with the media, how it's actually been trying to play it bad. The article that I wrote on the Tree of Liberty website, I've been sharing that link everywhere. I mean, I went to Twitter and typed in January 17th, and anybody that I saw had posted about it and was starting to put, you know, like, oh, it's going to be a repeat or a reattempt, but armed, of January 6th. I'll throw that link in the comments, you know, because basically what has been planned out, and the original idea is that what we need to do is, you know, there's been a huge unpopular opinion, especially between Antifa and Boog. Antifa and Boog have had a long history of hating each other. And a lot of that goes back to the mainstream media. Everything that they've put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Boog, you know, we sat and talked about, oh, how can we make our image better? How do we not look like right-wing extremist terrorists and everything else like that? How do we not all look like racists and everything just because one dude did? You know, how do we stop that with the media? Well, Antifa kind of deals with the same thing. They're getting a negative image from the media or from the majority opinion, or however you want to look at it. And that's exactly what Boog has been absorbing, is that mainstream media opinion. So,
and the truth is, we're all anti-fascist.
January 17th. Yes, exactly. I mean, if you're against the fascist system, you're essentially Antifa. I mean, and that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, because if you start to say, well, no, I'm not Antifa, then you got to start questioning, okay, what exactly are you then? You know, but you know, we've been working on unity, #LibertyUnity, you know, of trying to bring together Boog and Antifa. I mean, and fine, we don't have to unify. We don't have to come under one flag. We don't have to come under one name. You can still be Antifa. We'll still be Boog. It doesn't matter. As long as we still have the same idea and we call a truce and start to understand that, you know, who the real enemy is the mainstream media. It's the negative message. It's the government opinion that's been coming out to try and divide everybody. We have our constitutional rights, everybody in America. And every day we are seeing those rights being violated. Boog talks about the NAP, the non-aggression principle. Excuse me. We talk about the non-aggression principle. And a lot of us talk about, where do we draw the line? Where's the line in the sand? When do we react? When do we do things? You know, and that's understandable. I see that, you know, and so a lot of people, there's an opinion of, well, a lot of people are hiding behind the NAP of not taking action. Well, there's a difference between like taking action responsibly or just being, you know, aggressively violent for no reason and then trying to say, well, my NAP rights were violated. Well, no, that's not how that works. How it works is, you want to try and unify with people. You want to try and make sure that you all have the same message, the same ideals. And then you want to come together and, you know, we talk about our constitutional rights being violated. What rights are being violated? Well, let's think about it, you know, in a traffic stop, for example, how many constitutional rights you lose right off the bat just because the lights are on behind your car and you have no voice. You don't have anything to say. And instead, everything is actually used as incriminating evidence against you. And it actually makes, you know, your case much harder. You know, so something as simple as like a 10-mile-an-hour over speed offense could actually turn into resisting arrest or obstructing an officer's investigation and everything. And by the time everything's said and done, you can actually end up in handcuffs. You know, is that right? No. It's just the same thing like with taxation, you know, without representation. Taxation's extortion, you know, because if you don't pay your taxes, you are essentially being held at gunpoint to pay your taxes, you know. And some of those issues, when you think about it, Boog and Antifa believe the same way. You know, I mean, and it's not just Boog and Antifa. I mean, there's the anarchists. There's even just the left side. There's just the right side. There's central. I mean, we all need to come together. That's why when the posters and the flyers were made, there were flyers made for every kind of ideal out there. So you've got your left side of the argument, I guess it would be considered, you know, my body, my right, you know, which is a prime example of a constitutional right. Yeah, exactly. So all of these different flyers here pertain to each kind of political ideal from left and right. And what we're aiming to do on the 17th is to peacefully assemble. And the reason why it's on the 17th on a Sunday is because it's not aimed for us to actually go and invade a Capitol building. It's not aimed for us to go and talk to or talk at politicians, because you know they're not going to listen. You know, this is for us to talk to the people, we the
to
people.
Each other.
You know, we are trying to sit there and talk to these people and wake them up before it's too late, before we end up living in a society that is under draconian law, where, you know, our rights are taken away from us, they're stripped away. I mean, gun owners we can attest to the fact of how many rights were taken away, because it started with one simple right. You know, it started with, let's say, we'll start the argument with bump stocks. You know, some people are like, well, I don't use them, I don't need it, whatever, fine. They want to take it, who cares? Well, that set a precedent. Well, then they started moving on to what you can own. Now they're wanting to ban ghost guns. Now they're wanting to ban this. Now they want to put a license and a registration for ammunition and everything else like that. And it all started with one law, one regulation, one infringement. Where does that stop? Where does that end?
But they build on it.
It started. You know, where do we finally, where do we finally unite together and actually make our voice and make our stand, you know? And if anything, that's why we have to come together on the 17th. We're not, whoever's showing up at the rally, it's not just for us. It's for us to talk to the people. We got to wake everybody up. We got to get them to understand, because we got to stop where social media is silencing people left and right, where the media is controlled by the government, and whatever is being put out there, that's what you have to see. That's what you have to listen to and learn from, you know, and that's, enough is enough, you know, and we got to stop fighting with each other and actually turn our attention and actually make positive change, you know. And hopefully with the 17th, we want to try and do it in a non-violent fashion and in a peaceful manner, because the simple fact that, you know, there are too many people asleep, and there are too many people that will fight for the system to continue to oppress their rights, you know. And 2020 was a big example of how, like, say, the black community saw their rights tread on every single day. I mean, being gunned down, officers being let off on that. I mean, no, enough is enough. Let's unite together. That's what the 17th is about. Uniting together, coming together, sharing our message, and understanding why we're frustrated, and having everybody see that as well, and try to get them to come to our side, because we need to make change now. Because once these new regulations and laws start rolling into place after the inauguration, it's a fast moving train, and nobody's going to be able to get off. And those who attempt to do so will be labeled as enemies of the state.
Yeah, there's a really strong chance that every single one of us that you're watching on this show tonight will end up being that way, because we're not going to personally take that. And not a single one of us has gone out there looking to hurt people. It's quite the opposite. But I mean, I was gonna let you guys ask. Do any of you guys have any questions that you want to ask based off of what you've seen out there, or anything like that, before I start drilling?
Well, my only question is sort of technical, because I'm like that. Now, is there going to be like a live stream or a live show that one can join into during this event? Because I unfortunately won't be able to attend such an event due to possibly having a job by that time.
Yeah, is there going to be like a master feed or anything like that that people can key into or anything?
That is a good question, and actually should be discussed. But I kind of think when it was briefly touched upon, what we had kind of decided overall was that it was, well, I can't say we decided, but what the general consensus has been is that, you know, whoever's going to the state capitals, as many people, you know, have live streams as possible. I mean,
yeah,
because I mean, it's only going to help you. I mean, let's say something happens. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was saying, I know I'll be live streaming here in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I would say maybe, you know, if you can't attend, get with your state who will be there, and try to figure out who's going to be live streaming what, so that way everybody can tune in to their state accordingly. So. Yeah,
and if you do find the live streams, please share them. Like, I don't care if it's ours or somebody else's, just share it everywhere. The more people watching, the better. The less likely there is to be anything forcefully caused to go wrong, at least.
There is so many interesting things that when I watched some of the live streams last year during the BLM marches, protests, and riots, that a lot of lefties, and Creek can verify this, that really knew how to live stream on the go, on the
Yeah.
fly. These journalists or street journalists knew what to do. And that's one thing everybody can take a cue from, is that when you're a journalist or going to these live events like on January 17th, you're going to have to be prepared, like Luke Radowski was. You're going to have to have a face mask and goggles on there, and maybe even some equipment. And I'll put equipment in quotes because I can only go so far in saying what I can say right now.
Yeah.
Make sure not to dox, and make sure not to dox people or actually dox people. Like, don't and if somebody tells you not to film them, please
stop filming them. Just
stop
move your camera, go to a different area.
Respect consent. Respecting consent of the person being viewed, and also making sure that you're live streaming the events unfolding as if they were, as if you were not even filming them, but watching them with your own eyes. At least that's the way I think reporters should be on the street now. That doesn't always go to the case, but we can take cues that, at least the mainstream media doesn't really do journalism quite like street journalists do. And I'm sort of addicted to watching live streams. Because of that, I sometimes miss a couple of events the next day. But that's just something
watching them like that. That's the best way to know what's happening.
Yeah, because that's going to be where our news are going to come from. We cannot watch anything other than what's live streamed right there with the person either in the movement or knows what the movement is about. And that would be a recommendation if you do have people live streaming this and not necessarily part of the group that's hosting this type of event or events, that they should know that they should be live streaming as if they're not being biased for or against what they're live streaming. In theory. Now,
in theory, it's hard not to run your mouth sometimes, y'all.
I understand about that, Mike. But that's my only my only technical inquiry at this moment.
Dude across the table from me is cracking up because he knows me.
Well, and I'm gonna reiterate a couple of points, and I'll continue. I'm gonna be redundant on them. I'm gonna continue to reiterate throughout the night.
Do it.
First of all, January 17th is a peaceful rally. I mean, are we coming up armed? Are some of us going to be unarmed? Some of us are going to be armed. Some of us are going to have kits on, body armor, gas mask, whatever you want to say. We are all going. A lot of us, for the majority, are going to be armed. It's going to be peaceful. I cannot stress that enough. It will be a peaceful event. Also, a really key point that actually kind of goes along with the whole live streaming thing is if you are in a rally and you do not want to be doxxed, which, i.e., your information put out there, your face out there, facial recognition, whatever, you need to be wearing some kind of facial covering or a mask. I mean, 100%, because this is going to be a peaceful event, make sure you're in accordance with your local laws, regulations, mandates, whatever it is. That way you can stay, and it can stay a peaceful rally, and it's not going to be aggressive at all. But once again, I reiterate, a peaceful rally and stay masked. And yes, this should be live streamed. All 50 states should be live streaming their events, so that way everything's documented and everything can properly be attested to whenever things come around or come to call for questioning.
All right. Well, does anybody else have any other questions?
I mean, I got just one comment. Yeah, on the problem that the Boog has with its image. Yeah, see, this is why Antifa uses black bloc as a tactic.
Yes.
We like nothing identifiable. You want to have your black bloc on you, and then you want to have a whole pair of D block clothes in your backpack. So once you're gone and shit hits the fan, like you're in regular clothes and shit. And yeah, and the thing, and we have black bloc almost as a mindset of how Antifa works, because Antifa is not an organization. It is an idea. It is a hashtag. It is a flag, and it's simply It simply is the idea that you are against fascism and in any form, and you will fight fascism in any form it comes. So we're not traceable that way. No, there's no CEO of Antifa. We often joke that like we're going to call the cops to fuck with them and just be like, hi, I am the CEO of Antifa. We will be protesting here at 5 o'clock. like, I have my George Soros card. Anyways, fucking.
I have my George Soros card.
Yeah, as you can see. But yeah, you
Stop.
So to avoid, it's one of the better tactics. One of the tactics you want is not to be identifiable. I mean, as much as I'm sure you guys like the Hawaiian shirts and stuff, I mean, my advice is honestly abandon that, abandon the name, abandon everything, and go and have a black bloc mindset. And when you show up to a protest, don't even say you're boog. Don't say like. Fuck, just go into a fucking Antifa rally or BLM protest and just come in black bloc and just be like, yeah, I'm just trying to protect my identity. I'm just here to help you guys. What's up? Like, and if you can be armed in your state without raising too many eyebrows, California is
actually, you know what?
Like, be armed. And that's basically my advice.
Well, and here I actually have a couple of points. I actually have a couple of points with that actually brings up a good thing. So one of the big things I've actually been trying to talk with like Boog boys in general about, and actually to kind of go with what you were saying, Boog is an idea. It's a meme. It's a joke. It's, you know, hashtag everything. It's the same thing. I mean, we
I can see that's kind of,
you know, we don't fly a specific flag or anything else like that. Yeah. But what I recommend as well is actually going to be along the lines of what you're saying is like, the Boog name is tarnished. I mean, a lot of us have come to realize that. A lot of us are seeing that, and there's too much of an association with right-wing extremism and terrorism with that. Now, is that how it should be? No, I don't think so. I think that Antifa shouldn't be getting a lot of the negative attention that they're getting either. Just because of one or two bad people, that's not how it should be. I mean, the same thing goes with cops. They don't want us to look at them like because of one or two bad cops, all cops are bad. Yeah, okay, bullshit. But, you know, not showing up in Hawaiians, that's been a recommendation I've been putting out there. I mean, for me, I'm going to show up basically in what I wear every day. Just because of the simple fact, the way I look at it is when we do, as I guess you could say, as a Boog group or a Boog-minded group or whatever you want to call it, we actually have a group name that we call ourselves. It's nothing Igloo related. It's nothing Boog related or anything. And I'm not going to put the name out there right now. We're not ready to be public with the name of it, but what we try to do is we do positive change and positive influence in our community that we can. We let our work speak for ourselves before we align with calling ourselves Boog or anything else like that. And that's exactly what everybody should be taking note of, is that, you know, if you come out immediately and say, oh, I'm Boog and I'm here to help, you know, nobody's going to want your help. I mean, there's just too much negative connotation with it. So instead, what you want to do is you want to go out there and say, hey, I am group name whatever, you know, nothing Igloo related. Do the work that you have, because Boog is an idea. Well, keep going with just that idea. That's it. You don't have to be under a Boog flag per se, because there is no organization, there is no group, nothing. You know, let your work speak for yourself, your positive things that you're doing, and let the positive attention propel you forward. And that's what should happen. I mean, and the same thing. It's left and right, and we just got to keep unified together and move forward. I mean, we got to drop everything that's bad and mitigate this bad press that everybody's been getting. So
yeah, I mean, pretty much like from the setup you got is you're a part of the affinity group. You guys do what you think is right, and you just go with it. And that's basically what I do. Like, I don't come out to every protest and say I'm Antifa. Like, this is I didn't go public about being Antifa until yesterday. Like, that was just because of the events in January 6th, because I was just like, look, now is the time for people to just declare that they are fucking anti-fascist. Like, and we're not a terrorist organization. We're not an organization. We're just concerned citizens. Like, that is the only time. And I just did it on the live feed, and I'm just like, this is what a this is what I recommend you do if you want to fight back against fascism. But like, you know, before that, and I'm still not going to do it now. I'm not going to show up to every protest and say, I'm Antifa, unless this is an actual like Antifa thing and we're all showing up in black bloc. But I will show up to most protests in black bloc, and you know, I'll just be like, I'm here to help with whatever the fuck you guys are doing because I believe in it too. Yeah.
The only thing I have to say about this is that I dress like this
and you know what,
normally,
honestly,
so that sucks. Like I've always dressed like a complete weirdo.
Looks, so
yeah,
like,
I
dress.
Someone speak.
No,
Oh,
I normally typically dress like, you know, a country boy.
Yeah.
I just dress like this. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I pulled out the Hawaiian shirts and was like, "What do you guys think of this?" And they're like, "Oh, that looks like something you would wear normally." And I was like, "God damn it, that's not what it's supposed to be for."
yeah, and I don't always show up to a protest and block. Like if it's like one of those more lib-minded protests or whatever, where it's just like Black Lives Matter, we want to defund the police or whatever, and you know, I just want to make
T-shirt and your mask and whatever.
Yeah, you know, I don't really like if it's just like one of those, and I want to make sure like some folks don't get hurt or something, or I just want to like check it out and scope it out and see what's going on. Like I'll probably just come in regular clothes and just be like, yeah, I'm just a guy helping. Yeah, BLM, what's up? So anyways, y'all want to abolish the state after this, or what's up? That's when I try to radicalize people.
Well, I have some questions that stem from like stuff that I've seen people talking about and everything like that. Oh, well, you say that first and then I'll ask questions.
Okay. So I was actually going to make like a quick note here for future reference for like anybody who wants to do anything that's Boog oriented. So let's say where Boog has been kind of becoming relatively famous for going to BLM protests and rallies and stuff, and people want to say, you know, they want, you know, Boog's like, oh, well, I'm here to help BLM. You know, there's actually been kind of, you know, in some cases for some groups, you know, with BLM, they don't want Boog showing up in Hawaiians. They don't want him showing up armed or anything else like that. And so kind of what that comes down to is that Boog is showing up to be, you know, to try and do a PR move, you know, to try and say, oh, well, see, we showed up and we helped. We're Boog. We're here to save the day. Well, nobody wanted him there. So the best thing I can say, you know, is if you are claiming Boog or anything else like that, you need to talk with whoever has organized that event or has is in charge of that event, however you want to look at it, and ask them and say, hey, we are a group that, you know, is Boogaloo minded. We want to help. Where and how do you want us to help? You know, and a lot of times some of them may say, hey, come as you are, as you typically show up, you know, and then, you know, some might say, look, can you just come gray man status, you know, no, you know, conceal your firearms or don't come armed or however the case might be, you know, and then just be ready for, you know, whatever might happen, you know, and that might help with building relationships there as well, because it's building trust. And that's going back to the whole thing of what I'm talking about with the 17th is unity. You know, yeah, no, it's not a popular opinion, but you can't go there and say that you're there to help and nobody fucking wants you there, you know? So
yeah, you definitely got to respect the mind.
And it depends on where you are.
How you build a relationship.
It depends on where you are and who you're with and who you're helping and everything like that. Because, I mean, like, here where we're at, like, you can just walk up and people are like, oh, I know what you're here, hi, you know. But, like, in some places, people are really uncertain, you know. And even, just be aware of your surroundings and what you're doing.
Yeah, you just gotta, I mean, if there's an organizer, I guess I would say respect the wish of the organizer. Most of us do. Most of the protests I like to do are the more community organized protests. But yeah, you definitely want to just like respect their wishes and like come in just to help. And then like, and what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and just like, and definitely don't try to like police other protesters, because like I mean, that's more of like a personal thing for me. Like, because if you try to police protesters or anything, it's going to it ends up really bad because it just starts dividing people and getting shit even more disorganized than it already is. Like, I don't care.
Let the organizers do that if that's what they're doing.
Like you know, I know there's a lot of people who want to like protect property, but like honestly, like human life is more valuable than property. So like it, you know, I see somebody burning a trash can or whatever. I don't give a shit. I didn't see shit. I'm gonna keep walking. like just whatever do you. I'm not here to police you. I'm literally protesting against the police, so I'm not going to try to police other people.
And I mean, like, see, I have to agree with that.
A trash
like,
can's one thing. A private business is another.
Yeah, I would have to say that I did see a lot of trash cans being burned, but they were minor compared to the property damage done over the course of the summer, fall, and winter. Now, that's dropped a lot. Now, I don't know if it's weather, bigger police state, federal arrests, or
it's
just
not a bigger
Antifa.
Police state. They're not stopping it. They're just standing out there and letting it happen.
Well, I mean, letting them happen is one thing, but they're not necessarily spreading like we saw in May of June. It's just sticking to certain metro areas of the country and just staying there. I've not seen it spread, which makes me wonder if these cities are just not only allowing it to happen, but they're sort of not allowing Antifa to go anywhere else. At least in theory.
I don't really agree with property damage.
I will say a trend
most of the time. Like, I just like unless it's like actually a business that's exploiting people, then fuck them. But
like Walmart.
Like Walmart, I'm like, I'm not gonna care if you burn a Walmart down, fuck them. But like it's just it's like I'm not really going to just like I don't know. I'm not really going up to defend somebody's property. It's like I mean, the Kyle Rittenhouse thing is kind of an example, like, because like fucking like the guy's property they were defending, like he didn't really ask anybody to defend it, and I think it had already been like burned down and like unsalvageable by then. Because so now like this shit happened on his property, which he wasn't pretty much just going to sell off to the landlord or whatever the fuck, and now he's just like, oh crap, now I gotta explain that I did not call them to defend my property, and I do not condone.
On the other hand, is the same coin, different side. If I see somebody pushing a flaming trash can towards a gas station, I am going to put it out because that will hurt people. And like you said, property is not as important as people, and that would hurt a lot of people. So I would do that kind of thing. But unless I'm asked to, I'm probably not going to try and stop like anything unless there's people. If there are people that are trying to defend their shit, I'm gonna help them. I'm not gonna not help them because I go out there for the community, and we're all part of the community. Protesters and business owners and homeowners. The only thing is, like here, they won't even march through an area where people, you know, like they're like, don't go through this, don't go through the neighborhoods, don't go through the neighborhoods and stuff like that. You know, they're really big about that kind of shit. We didn't have a lot of property damage here.
Yeah, and honestly, property damage is like very rare. I know
we're getting off track.
We are. Let's
we need to talk. We need to get back on track to the last topic, and that.
Well, I still have a couple of questions. There were a couple of things that came up over the week, and I wanted to hit on that really quick and everything. Like, I know that not only, we talked about how the right, there's the right wing media, and like on social media, people are trying to pass around saying that this is a leftist thing and that they are trying to like it's a trap and stuff like that. And then there's people on the left, even Antifa people, going around saying that this is a white supremacist thing. And like, what do you and and one of the major things that I noticed is like we're doing this really close to all of these marches and stuff like that. So they're confusing it with MAGA stuff, and MAGA people are like, well, this isn't us, so they're assuming that it's a trap. And like we did have a flyer that had lightning bolts on it, which apparently freaked a lot of people out and made them think that it was associated with the white supremacists and stuff. And I wanted to give you a chance to say something about that maybe before we just moved on, because that was kind of a big deal. I myself with MLTP, I don't think any of us want to be associated with anything that has to do with white supremacy, period.
Yeah.
Like we're not into that kind of stuff at all. So
No.
like we will never be supporting that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like a moron because I didn't even
So on that
think
lightning
about
bolt
that.
poster, what else? You know, I didn't either. So when everything with the original, the organizers and stuff like that, when they were making the posters, I believe that was actually even the first poster. I think that was done with a lot of oversight. I don't think that was thought about. I think it was more of something of how do we make something that's attention grabbing. I don't know. But I can say I honestly didn't even think about it until you pointed it out, Mike, and that was kind of
Yeah,
like
I was like, no,
holy
y'all
shit
can't do
moment
this.
of like,
We got to get rid of this.
you know,
No, I don't want this. This is a
that's
no-go.
not a good look.
Like I came in a
Yeah.
little freaking out. I hope I wasn't too rough with people about it. I was just like, no.
Yeah. No, honestly, yeah, like I said, it was I'll call it a treacherous oversight. That was not thought about at all. But to the left and to the right that want to try and insert their political ideology of what they think it might be, no, it's not a trap. The only time it will be a trap is if, you know, whatever group you're going with or whatever state is organizing, and they come out and they say that this is going to be a violent protest. This is not going to be a violent protest. And here, once again, I'm going to reiterate, this is a peaceful and armed or unarmed, depending on how you feel, or your local laws, regulations, whatever they are, this is a peaceful rally for the people. So it's for left and right. I mean, I you know, I cannot stress that enough. I mean, the reason why the posters were made, if you can bring them up again, Mike, it was we were aiming to make sure that they were aimed at the left and the right as well. Hold on a second. But yeah, so we had the posters that were made for the left and right. I mean, you've got the gun rights down there. You've got the my body, my choice. You know, then you've also got the ones that kind of seem like neutral, like the gray and the black one, the weapons of mass deception. I mean, those are the posters there. It was meant to be of how do we reach the right side of the argument and bring them over and talk with them. Then you had where you wanted to bring the left side over. No, it's not a trap. No, it's not a white supremacist rally. No, it's not an Antifa rally. It's for everyone. I mean, I can't stress it enough. We need to all come together and all be unified together and talk about this and spread this message.
This is an alternative Metallica album called Liberty for All,
so,
a sequel to Justice for All.
I'm going to pause here real quick.
Well, yeah, and man, I have had people out there arguing with me. They're like, everyone doesn't mean everyone. There's going to be people out there who will literally just choose to ignore the things that we say and to ignore our explanations or to block us instead of letting us talk. And honestly, I think y'all are jerks. And I wonder if you're actually out there for the betterment of people because you don't want to talk. Because I've been running around going crazy trying to talk to anybody and everybody who seems to be misunderstanding this stuff. And like, I wonder if you guys, there's a lot of people out there who just want to believe that this is horrible. Another thing that I've noticed is, like, I've had several people contact me privately and ask me about the danger, like, especially with everything going on. Especially with people thinking that it's a trap and all this other stuff, and now the FBI and Fox News and all that stuff is saying that, you know, like it's supposed to be some sort of terrorist attack on the Capitol and everything. They're like, how are you going to make sure everybody's safe? Why, like, if you know that this is going to be dangerous, why do you stop? And I mean, like, all I know to say is like, well, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, they know that they might get their asses handed to them, but do they stay home? And honestly, freedom and liberty and unity and peace, I can't see anything worth more getting my ass kicked over than that. But what do you say to people like that who are concerned about the public? How do you think people are going to be keeping people safe and stuff like that out there?
Well, at this, it's going to be like any other protest rally or event. I mean, you're going to go there and you're going to hope like hell that, you know, your best foot's going to be forward, that it's going to be a peaceful event, that no confrontation will happen. And that's where, you know, like we keep trying to talk and stress about unity and everything and a peaceful protest. You can hope that people are going to play by the adult rules and play big boy and take care of themselves, you know, police themselves. But I mean, as far as things getting out of hand, I mean, I would hope like hell that doesn't happen. Excuse me, heartburn. I would hope like hell that wouldn't happen. I mean, I just, like you said, like any other protest or rally, you run that risk of, you know, the message being hijacked or the message being, you know, moved. And that's where live streaming the event's going to be helpful.
Yes.
Stick with a trusted group of people that you know, and make sure you guys are all on your 10 and 2 and you're on your toes. And the biggest thing is too, is all the state levels, you know, there needs to be somebody that can stand there and kind of, I guess you could say, take charge and try to organize. And I mean, I know it's a little late in the game to be saying this right now, make a plan and come up with something that way, you know, everybody is going to be on the same page. Everybody knows what they're going to be doing. Everybody has a role. You've got like a comms guy, a medic. You've got somebody, you know, that can sit there and talk to the public or talk to the media, whomever. But as far as like people like behaving themselves, you know, and the FBI being concerned and things like that, be on your best behavior. I mean, this is a peaceful event. There's no reason for anybody to be going home or going away in handcuffs. There's no reason for anybody to like go home after having been beaten or anything else like that. I mean, if you're having we'll use Antifa and Boog for example. If there's a disagreement that's happening between the two of them, I mean, where did we forget along the way that, you know what, you just end a discussion and walk away. It doesn't have to go to fists. You don't have to sit there and say something nasty and stupid to the other person, you know, just to try and get the last word in or get a rise out of them. I mean, police yourselves, be big boys, be big girls, do what you're supposed to do the right thing. Hell, after the event, if there's trash, how about some of you guys stay around after and put a good face on things and pick up trash, you know? I mean, let's stop with this negative shit and stop with the piss poor behavior. This is a peaceful event, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't care who it is. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, I definitely sympathize with your plight, trying to unite the right and left into a solidified movement. I mean, I'm personally definitely for like more of a mind of class solidarity. Just cause like, I mean, most of it just unless you're a billionaire or a millionaire, like you're part of the working class. So we should all be on the same side on that one. But yeah, it's just a hard thing because like a lot of people just kind of been stuck in their echo chambers, the libs and the far right and the left in some cases too. But I feel the left is a little more less zombie-like than the libs. The left actually has some fucking principles at least in a foundation, as opposed to liberals who just believe whatever the fuck the Democratic Party tells them. One day they're for Medicare for all, the other day they're not. Like, it's just when the fuck y'all don't make up your minds. Yeah, so... Yeah, it's a tough fucking thing, and it's gonna probably take more than one rally to build that trust. But if you guys pull out this rally and it's peaceful and you get some good conversations, I hope the best on that, and I do hope in this case it is peaceful, and yeah, I hope you succeed. But yeah, you guys are going to have to probably do a lot more than just one rally to unite the get a huge unification of political ideologies like this. It's going to take a lot of hashing out, especially after the crap that has happened over the past 4 years has really divided us up.
But that's where I actually go back to, is that, you know, a lot of the mainstream media has propagated a lot of this shit to happen anyway, you know. So I mean, we are where we are because a lot of us fell for the bullshit, you know. And the other thing I can point out too, to try and ensure that, you know, we keep this a peaceful rally, is that we are going to be under a microscope. This has made national news. There is a lot of speculation. You know, I mean, for me, I'm clarifying, you know, that I'm not speaking for the Boog movement or any movement in general. I'm not even really speaking for the organizers of the 17th. I just happen to have a lot of insight on it. But I'll say, you know, from the drop, we have to understand we are under a microscope. We are being watched. The FBI is waiting for somebody to slip up and make a bad move, so that way there's bad press being written about it no matter what, you know. And that's what they want to do. Is we aimed for a unity rally, and you know, there's going to be an effort to make this a divided one, you know, of hey, see, you know, these people couldn't get along, you know, this is what happened, that we can't let that happen, you know. We got to be on our best behavior, and again, this has to be a peaceful rally.
Hi over there, Axios. I was gonna I brought him in here because I know he was just talking with some people about this, and he has some stuff that he wants to share. I'm gonna hand it over to him real quick, and I'll be right back, y'all.
All right. You have the floor, Tree of Liberty.
Oh, what a hell of a week. That's all I can say.
Amen and a women.
So, the site, which has the article on it, and I'm still getting messages from journalists as we speak. The site where all this stuff has been up, where most of the news of everything has been up from all the organizers giving me the feeds of details and everything like that. Classified, who wrote the article on behalf of organizers, being a great help, by the way, because that article is getting seen, and that's good. We had no idea that this entire thing with the Capitol would happen, because we've been planning this since what, June?
Yeah, early,
yeah,
at least midsummer, if not
midsummer, if not just earlier, a little bit later. And when I refer to we, I'm talking about, you know, anybody involved, the movement itself, not, you know, particular people. But it's been in the planning since June, and all of a sudden the 6th happens, and we go, well, shit, we know it's about to happen. And
yeah, that's what I said, was they screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah. Over the past 4 days, I've gotten more emails, more message requests, more anything than I have ever seen on that site so far.
Yeah, you guys got some horrible timing on this. I feel pretty bad for y'all.
Terrible time. Terrible timing. Everything like that has been within the past 2 days. I just finished up a small interview with a gentleman from the AP who will remain unnamed, and a lady from Sacramento is still messaging me about details related to this. And the first thing I've been saying is, one, I'm not the organizer. In fact, I barely know the names of any of the organizers as it is. I'm just getting information from channels coming in. And answering their questions has been difficult because they ask a question that I simply don't have the answers to. I've just been saying the same thing. Peaceful, it's a peaceful demonstration, keyword being demonstration. We have, I guess you can call it a protest because it is pretty much a protest. We're protesting something, but I keep calling it a demonstration because it's more of showing up, saying what we want, going home.
It's mostly a peaceful demonstration, and then you could just show a little image of what some of CNN reporters said with building burning behind him. That's just the most ironic thing to say when you're in front of a burning building. The protest, mostly peaceful, has a little bit of fury, and I'm like, is that 1984 speak? I don't know what it is.
I'm like, is that building behind you on fire, or are you standing in front of a green screen?
Yeah, exactly. So, when people ask either you or anybody else, what type of protest is it, or what type of demonstration, they're trying to lean into their bias, not your response to their question. So they're trying to be more fulfilling of their, biasment, or when you have a sort of a lean toward, you want to say, okay, I believe in this. I just want to confirm a confirmation bias. That's what I wanted to put into words. So it's like, I'm not an organizer. I'm just a peaceful demonstrator against these aggressions that the federal government has done, or something like that. And, it seems like the AP wants a story. They don't want to know the truth.
AP gave up after 2 questions.
Yep, there you go. I told you.
AP's like, well, if you get any more information, can you please talk to me, and we'll talk to you after the event. Either they know something about the event we don't, or they anticipate the event to go off the rails and want a response. In particular, the biggest question that I've received so far is, what are you guys going to do about the possibility of the Proud Boys showing up? Which everybody's monitoring threads, everybody's monitoring this, that, and the other thing. And the thing that keeps on coming up is some Proud Boys actually think they're going to this event and that they planned this event somehow.
Would it be better that the reporter had been given this question? What happens if Antifa shows up? And then put the spot back on them and saying, if Antifa shows up, then we're at fault. If the Proud Boys show up, then we're at fault. Don't blame us for either group that shows up. Blame it on them. And so what they're trying to do is just gaslight you a little bit.
What I've been telling them is that our event has had peace in mind from the beginning, and we have contingencies in place to ensure that if anybody does anything stupid or tries to do anything stupid, we have like a hear something, say something type of thing. We'll get that taken care of immediately. And that we're not going to be fighting any of the people that show up, because that would obviously then again make us look stupid. If we got into a fight with people that showed up, they'd be like, okay, so these guys are planning the event and fighting the people that show up. These guys are definitely nuts. That's not what we want to do either.
Well, I'm done with my questions. So,
yeah.
Does anybody else have any more questions before we move on?
One other thing I wanted to say real quick.
Oh, go for it, man.
200 plus emails in 4 hours.
Jeez.
That was today. 200 plus emails in 4 hours.
I love you, man.
I don't. Why'd I do this?
Hey,
I say that sometimes too, but I'm still here too.
Have any of the emails been about the article that I wrote? Because if so, you can feel free to just throw some of them my way. Divide and conquer,
They seem to be more about the event, and they seem to be on posts that are not your article rather than about your article. The people that have reached out to me have referenced your article in particular.
Oh, was that you? Gosh darn
Yeah,
it.
yes, it was him.
I love that article. It's been really helpful. I've been using it all over the place.
Yeah, the hashtag J17 article with that hashtag J17, that was that guy.
We do have one thing that I want to make sure that we mention before we go onto the last topic is that we're not doing the DC one.
No, Washington DC has been
DC
canceled.
Canceled. And everybody needs to know that. Everybody needs to know that there's not going to be a Washington DC one. This is just the state capitals.
Yeah.
And let me
bold
let me take
red
over from
letters
there for
on
a
the
second.
article. It says it's been canceled.
Yeah.
So the reason for that being is because of the 6th, that basically hijacked the message that we were trying to do in the Capitol. So with that, with the speculation of there being violence and everything else like that, that canceling DC was to try and appease and ease them of the mindset that there would be another repeat of the 6th. So whatever any organized 17th event will not be attending Washington, D.C. because of the simple fact that we don't want to draw undue attention towards that possibility from happening again, because it goes back to the whole thing, playing big boy rules and taking care of yourself and doing the right thing. It might get hijacked, and we don't want that. Also, from our understanding, we didn't even have enough people to go to the DC event anyway. So it's not even just that we're like bending over and saying, okay, yeah, fine, we'll do whatever to make you happy. No, we actually just genuinely didn't have a lot of people who were going to show up anyway. So it was just kind of pointless to even advertise that DC was going to be moving forward anyway. So
yeah,
that's the whole reason with that.
Well, to make it very clear before we move on, this is not a protest. This is not a riot. This is not an attack. This is not left wing. This is not right wing. This is a nonpartisan, peaceful rally for people to come together, to network, to meet each other, to work on starting to rebuild our community, to talk and learn and teach about liberty for all. That is specifically what this is for. This is not for us to speak to the government and make demands. This is for us to speak to each other. Did I do that right?
I'd say.
That's 100%. That's a good summary.
You guys make sure that you come out there and see us. Screw the media. Screw the government. Screw the FBI and all those other soup boys that can't freaking seem to be okay with us coming together peacefully.
Yes.
Can I say something real quick?
That
shit launched a fucking investigation, and they did come talk to me.
I can't believe I just want to state that we've been working on this and talking about this for months and months and months. There is absolutely no way that they do not know what is actually going on, and they are pretending like they do not. And I am not for 1 second going to pretend like they aren't. It's
the federal agent that talked to me made a distinction clear to me that he knows that this event is not a MAGA event.
And they're still doing it. They're still doing this. They're still spreading that information.
And they're still spreading that information. But the agent that talked to me said that they know it's not a MAGA event. Yet, what they're continuing to say contradicts what they've told me.
Yeah, which is bull.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we are pushing an hour and a half, so I'm going to push us over to the last topic of the night, which I just wanted to sit down and talk. I mean, like, I know that Creep was saying that he finally came out as Antifa yesterday, like publicly and stuff like that. And I want to talk about anti-fascism in America, because as we said earlier, if you're an American, it's American to be anti-fascist. If you're not anti-fascist, then there's a problem. There is a group that is there's a group of violent tankies out there that would prefer to hijack the movement, I think. But they're communists and like corporativists. They're both fascists. they're both authoritarian fascist groups. The red, the blue, it's just a different fucking color of the same goddamn thing. And I can't reiterate that enough. The authoritarians would love for everyone to hate the word anti-fascist at this point. That's what they're pushing. But I wanted to give Creep a chance to, since he knows the most about it, to just explain to people what the point is. What is anti-fascism? Or what is Antifa, more specifically? Because everybody knows what anti-fascism is.
Hold up, I did a whole thing on this. Let me bring it up real quick.
All right.
I fucking got it in a Google Doc.
Well, personally...
It just froze.
Uh-oh. Well, no, he
Great.
said hold on, he had to grab it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
1 sec.
you got it, Creep?
Yeah, I get it. It's in a Google Doc. It takes a second to open up. Basically, well, that's opening up. I'll just
You're gonna have to wing it, man.
I'll tell you what. Let's see. Hold up. Hey, man. It takes forever to load up.
Is this going to be our last topic? Because we forgot to mention the alt tech, or the main tech purge, and the alt tech onboarding.
Well, I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, where they've been just flipping their shit and censoring basically everybody. Like we have. Oh no! Did I freeze too now, or am I still?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Like we have basically been. They've been targeting basically anybody who says anything that is not 100% with the establishment and the narrative that they want. They have been censoring left. They have been censoring right. They have been censoring anti-government. They've been censoring all of that stuff. And anybody who wants to ask questions, anyone who wants to say anything differently, they're shutting them down. And now they're not just hitting people who are anti-government, they're looping all of these MAGA people supposedly into it. And they're, like, I never thought they would be able to ban a president. I mean, thank God I don't have to see what he's saying anymore, but like, wow, that's like a whole new level. Like Twitter banned the president.
All right, so I got it here. I put my name in it, but I'm just going to say my name is Creep instead of my actual name because
go for it.
Because the Creep mask is part of my
anonymity.
Don't hurt yourself, kid. Get on the stink. Anyways.
No face.
Yeah. So my name is Creep, and I am an anti-fascist. I am not a part of any organization, nor am I paid, nor am I part of any plot by the Democratic Party. Antifa is not an organization. It is a symbol, an idea, something that the powers that be fear because they know ideas are bulletproof. Those of us who participate in anti-fascist action are concerned citizens defending the foundations our country was supposedly founded upon: liberty, equality, and justice. I have have always been an anti-fascist, but kept the idea to myself because I knew the public opinion could put my life and the life of my comrades in danger. It still can, in a sense. But with recent events at the Capitol, I believe now is the time to tell the truth. The whole world witnessed our law enforcement and military failed to stop an attempted coup by a fascist movement. In some ways, they were complicit in the act. Furthermore, the MAGA movement has revealed what we all knew it was all along: a neo-fascist movement hiding behind the thinly veiled disguise of patriotism. Our institutions have completely failed to contain this threat, and as a result, lives have been lost, civil war has broken out, and our future on this earth is more uncertain than ever. All the facts stated here are among the reasons I am giving a call to arms for you to join anti-fascist action today. Our institutions have failed to maintain any sense of law and order. Our government has failed to provide for its people. Our democracy has been shaken and attacked again and again and again. We can no longer depend on our institutions It is up to us as human beings to defend our community. Law enforcement in particular cannot be trusted because they have participated in the act of insurrection and have clearly allied themselves with MAGA, which is a neo-fascist terrorist movement. This is not a conspiracy. This is not a conspiracy. Media sources, government sources, and what we have all seen with our own damn eyes has proven it 1,000 times over. If you wish to take action, these are the things you must do. Publicly denounce any fascist organization or anyone that clearly stands with fascist ideology. If you see a man or woman with a MAGA apparel, humiliate them publicly. Make a scene about it. Do not be afraid. They shouldn't even be showing their faces in public anymore after what happened on the 6th of January. What they should have done is burn their MAGA hat a long time ago, or at the very least, burned it when they saw what happened at the Capitol. If they have not, shame on them. They get what they deserve. Denounce law enforcement. They are traitors too. They assisted the MAGA movement in breaching the Capitol, have violently suppressed freedom of speech and expression, and have terrorized minority and indigenous communities since its inception. Do not be afraid of them. Do not have sympathy for them. They can drop that badge and gun anytime they want. They should quit their jobs if they have to. If they have, they should quit their jobs if they have any semblance of moral integrity. You have freedom of speech and expression, and it is your duty to use it loudly and proudly. 2, join an affinity group or an activist organization and participate in protests and actions to fight fascism. We need numbers, not just in the hundreds, but in the thousands. The reason these protests are unsafe is mainly because of the lack of turnout. For our actions to truly be effective, we must outnumber our opposition with such overwhelming force that we cannot be stopped. Strengthen numbers, strengthen unity, strengthen solidarity. That is how we win. Educate yourself. Read political theory. Do not be intimidated by words such as Marxism, anarchism, communism, and socialism. Understand the history of toxic capitalist ideals that have propped up fascism and colonialism. Use your education to establish a strong compass of principles and moral integrity. There are many avenues to do this. For those of you who are slow to readers, there are also audiobooks as well as YouTubes and podcasts. I encourage you to seek me out for links. Also, many books on political theory are in the public domain and thus are free to download on PDF or listen to on YouTube. Do your due diligence, for it is your moral obligation to educate yourself whenever you have the time and energy to spare. Perhaps most importantly of all, get involved in mutual aid programs such as Food Not Bombs and Community Front. Provide aid to the community that government institutions in the free market have failed. The most simple things, such as a pair of socks, can mean the world to someone who is houseless. If there is not a mutual aid organization near you, start one or provide for people yourself. Set up free stores where houseless and impoverished people can get the things they need. Improving the material conditions of your community is of the utmost importance, for the material conditions of the community also contribute to its stability. In conclusion, it is no longer time to sit back and just give a like on Facebook or to vote once every 4 years. It is time to pull up our sleeves and labor to protect it and provide for our community. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to love one another. It is our duty to win. My name is Creep, and I am an anti-fascist. Antifa!
Oh, he did the thing again. Now,
well, there you go.
I think that's pretty awesome. To be honest, if you included all the buzzwords instead of just the left-leaning buzzwords, I could freaking agree with that. I don't think that there's any reason why we shouldn't be embarrassing people who are statists at all. Like, we should be saying stuff about it. We should be asking them. We should be, like, bringing this out and telling them what they're doing. I'm not going to go just, like, after. I don't necessarily think that I should yell at people who are MAGA here, because a lot of them, like, disagree with stuff. But I am, like, we got to start questioning that. Well, if you disagree with the stuff that all of these people are doing on the videos and stuff like that, why don't you do something? Why don't you stop wearing that and do something else? Be like, this isn't an attack on conservatives. It's an attack on...
I mean, it's not an attack on conservatives. That's why I said MAGA specifically. Like, if you're just a fucking conservative, I don't give a fuck. Like, you're not a fascist if you're a conservative. You just believe certain things. Like, the MAGA movement in particular through its actions has just continually just spiraled down this hole of fascism. And like you can't just be you can't just like stand for American values of liberty, justice, equality, and beat MAGA at the same time. It just after what happened on fucking on the six,
you are
like,
a
you can't do that anymore. You're a traitor. Like, stop.
Yeah. If you are a patriot, you believe in liberty and justice for all. That is not a fascist thing. That is not an overpowered statist thing. That is liberty and justice for all. And, you know, I can't imagine anyone who believes in liberty and justice for all even standing with any side of the state at this point, because it's become so big and so powerful and so, like, full of crap.
Yeah.
You know,
like, I just want to make clear, I don't hate anybody if they voted for MAGA in 2016, or even if they voted for MAGA in 2020. Like, you know, this was before the Capitol thing. Like, it's like, you know, but to those people who understand that this fucking thing is breaking down and you can no longer support it, and like, and want to, like, if you're trying to distance yourself from that and like, and find a different way, like, you know,
do it.
We can still fucking talk. We're still cool. But like, if you're just like, if you're like one of those weird QAnon cultists, or you're just like wearing MAGA apparel and like acting like you were fucking proud of that right now and going out in public like that.
Yeah, you're lacking self-awareness and situational awareness.
Yeah, I'll just like look at that and I'll be like, fuck you, man. Like, and like cops, like fucking, I'll flip them off too. Like fucking, I don't.
So we're here
a few days ago, and I was like, "Hey, fuck you, Border Patrol."
Okay, Antifa are not democratic socialists. There are all sorts of people in Antifa and working with Antifa. I can say that for sure.
The DSA is not Antifa. Yeah. The DSA is too afraid to become Antifa.
Yes, they are. They're giant PUSSYs.
There's very few that actually identify as democratic socialists. It's mostly anarchist, I would say.
Yeah.
DemSocs have been like accused of being lived by Antifa. Like, DemSocs are like fucking.
Yeah. There are some tankies though, and I just they get on my freaking nerves.
Like, I'm not going to be like, you're trash because you're a DemSoc, but like. I wouldn't say you align.
I would definitely engage you in some gentle debates and try to make you think about that.
Yeah, like I'll probably say, like, you know, I don't know if I can. I mean, I respect the fact that you're trying to
help
get socialist programs through democratic means up, and like I said, socialist isn't a bad thing. Don't be afraid of the word socialist or Marxism. Like, read the theories and like try to understand.
But also, don't just stick to Marxism. Marx was obsessed with the workplace. Branch out. Read all sorts of things. And also read Stirner and read Spooner and read everything. Read everything you can get. Everything. Don't just stick to one side. If you if you truly want to believe and be educated in what's going on, you can't let them group you by your ideology. You can't be caged by your ideology. Reach out there and learn as much about all of these things as possible. I wanted to open the floor a little bit and let the guys ask questions and give their opinion on all of this, because like we got a bunch of ANCAPs and libertarians and stuff in here. I know I'm a black flag, so I'm just kind of like neutral on this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, screw the state. Bad fascism, bad. What do you guys think?
Go for it.
Anybody? Is it dead silent?
I'm pretty much, I don't know. I don't really know what I am. I agree with Street,
I'm going to be getting off here in a couple of minutes.
No, all right. I would say to finalize that, the state is bad.
Say, I mean, there's.
Who was talking? Was that Lizard?
Lizard, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, delay.
I was just saying, screw the state, and what's going on is fucking horrible. And anybody who like everybody who is a part of MAGA saw the state come out and show their true colors. And if you're still wearing that, you're just fucking delusional and you need to stop.
They also saw Trump show true colors too. He fucking threw him under the bus in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's a hollow cause at this point. And if you're truly like, if you see what's going on now, and you're out there watching this, you need to fucking step away from the MAGA shit and try to find something better.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to divide people at this point.
Does anybody else have anything that they want to say on this or anything else at all before I give some announcements and we get out of here?
I'm good.
I think we're good,
I
Mike.
really like that thing that you read, Creep. I'm sorry. Forgot to add that.
Thank you. Yeah,
All right, guys.
I kind of just got up one morning. I was just like, you know what? It's time.
Thank you guys,
did you guys
for
see what just
sharing and
happened?
coming with us.
What just happened?
Wait, did they throw the nuke already?
I got an announcement. Apparently, Canada's in martial law as of tonight.
Whoa.
Oh God! If you're in Canada and watching this, please be careful and stay strong.
Is it got something to do with like COVID or something? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. Let me look into that a little more.
We'll find out more about it and make some comments on it later on this week. The shows are going to be spotty this week. Tomorrow we have a guest, Jay Flintlock. It's going to be really interesting. They're an ex-CO and they have a lot of really interesting discussion about the prison system and stuff like that. And we're going to get down and dirty in that. The rest of the week, though, everything's going to be very spotty as far as episodes and stuff because we're getting ready for J17. They can say whatever they want, but we're not going to get scared and back down for peace and freedom. We're just not. If you guys like what you saw here or you hate what you saw here, please get into the comments, get on our social media, come to our Discord or our Matrix or whatever and get in there and talk to us. Join the conversation. Don't just get mad and throw a fit. Join the conversation because everybody is welcome unless you're a fascist, in which case
you're not welcome.
I mean, you're not welcome.
You're not welcome. You're welcome to the grave, motherfucker.
But until we see, I'm gonna try to do some day shows or morning shows or something, but I can't promise that's gonna happen this week since it's gonna be so busy. And I may be trying to bring people on to do like short things as updates and as we go by, or I might make some short updates. So keep your eyes out. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being here and talking with us and everything, and thank you for reading your thing, Creep. That was really cool. I hope that all of you guys found something interesting tonight that made you think. Also, if you want to get involved with us, either to join the show or to help out in the background, also hit us up in our social media and get into our group and talk to us and stuff. And if you don't have time, we will take your money because we use that to help the liberty movement all across the board in any way that we can. Once we get to paying the bills for keeping things alive and our internet presence, we start just giving it away. That's why when we
white market money.
Well, no, I don't get to that part. You can get into our subscribe. We have a link below our coin tree. You can get down there and it will take you to our Subscribe Star, our PayPal and stuff like that. If you want to give us your filthy, dirty white money, white market money. And if you have crypto, we'll take that too. Even if it's filthy white market crypto, yeah, noobs. Don't.
Oh man, XRP, man, that's what I got to say.
We will definitely make sure that it goes to good use, especially right now. The liberty movement in all of its shapes and sizes across the board can use all the help that they can get. I hope to see you guys soon. Please be careful, but fuck safety. Be free instead. Safety is an illusion. We'll see you guys soon. Until then, this episode of Spilling the LiberTEA. This episode of Spilling the LiberTEA is fucking adjourned.
Yay!